What is happening, and welcome back to another funky and sniffy, if I'm honest, episode of Opinions from Offside. Both me and Kanye are a bit sick. Separately, we're not been kissing or anything, at least, not in public, at least not on the mouth. But we are back at you, and we're going to have a little review and a little talk about it. But first of all, let's do the pleasantries. How are you, mate? I already know how you are, but for the benefit of the podcast, you still feeling rough?
Still feeling tender, but I played football today. If ever I'm ill, I always prefer to go and play. Just having a run about. So I'll tell you, you'll love this. So I turned up for football today.
Oh, missed it today.
Dino, one of our boys, you know Dino.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I've got a lot of time for Dean, but sometimes that kid talks fucking nonsense. Right? So I've turned up and gone, Dean, I've been ill for the last few days, so I'll be on and off and whatever, but my chest has been sore. Yeah, fine. Oh, what you need to do is sweat out. Yeah, that's why I've come football. To play in 28-degree heat. Yeah. You want to now bear in mind, Tommy stood next to me, right? He's gone, yeah, maybe bang a couple of extra t-shirts on. So I've sort of looked at Tommy, and Tommy's looked at me like, yeah, well funny. He went, yeah, I've got a couple of spare ones in the bag. And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to put on 2 more t-shirts to play football in 28-degree heat, playing 7-a-side in Tenerife to try and sweat this out. I was sweat enough running normally. And like, mate, I love Dean to bits, but mate, give your head a wobble.
I can see his point though, because you might have gone to the gym and had a steam in the steam room to try and sweat it out. And back in the day, that's what you used to do. You used to put a bin liner, like a rubbish bag on underneath.
He had one. He offered it me. He offered me a black bag.
Maybe not when you're feeling crap, no way.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll run around 28-degree heat in Tenerife with 3 t-shirts on a black bag.
You'd have passed that, and you've got to keep your electrolytes and water up and everything. So yeah, it's a strange old thing. Well, thank goodness, I know you're not on top form yet, and I'm not on top form. I've got to fly again tomorrow for more shows, so I'm going to be sniffing all the way through the flight, and hopefully not for this episode. So we just recorded one, which is probably going to be later on in the week.
Do they not mind you sniffing on the plane?
Well, the sniffer dog. I like check their suitcases for drugs.
I'm just. So you're. Oh, right. I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah. Oh my God, I feel dreadful. But hopefully the shows will be all right, and hopefully I'll feel a little bit better when I come back. But what is
you look great though? So
well, thank you. I look good on Spotify. What is what is good though is that football is back, and we had a full weekend of fixtures.
Yes, we did.
We'll start with your team, Liverpool. Got a glorious 3-0 victory over your arch rivals and your arch enemies. How did you feel about that game? Happy with that?
Really good. I think they had about a 10-minute spell after half-time where they looked a little bit threatening. Diaz looked really good, really sharp. Took both of his goals really well. The header was right in the top corner as well. And his strike, leaning back, bottom bin, brilliant. And then Salah does what he does. Like just hell of a player. I think he's been involved in all of our goals this year. Like just so good. But look, Man United, they didn't really look like offering a lot. They had moments, and that was only because we were dropping off a little bit. I think someone mentioned this today at football. The problem with United, because you've got to get rid of the bad apples. It doesn't matter how well you can build on it. If you've got bad foundations, you've got bad foundations. There's only so far you can go. And I don't know if you've seen the interview with Ten Hag.
Oh. Yes. Yeah, he was a bit salty back, wasn't he? Yeah,
he was biting.
Yeah. He definitely was. I thought you were going to talk about the interview with Salah, because we spoke about it off camera, but we didn't speak about it on camera. You weren't very happy with that, was you? I'm always a believer, right? If you're going to do something that might be disruptive or might be seen as disruptive, because as I learned when I worked at the bank, it's not what you're doing, it's how people see you doing it. Perception is key. You could be doing the greatest thing in the world, but if people see you doing bad things from their angle, they're going to perceive you as a bad person. That's unfortunately the rule of the world. Perception is key. So I just don't think he needed to bring that up. Like, why not just say, when he's been interviewed, I'm enjoying my football at the minute. I'm really liking the new style and the new way of happening with Slot. That's predictable stuff. You're not slagging off anyone. You're not saying anything that causes disruption. So for the people that haven't heard or don't know what he said, what exactly did he say?
So he came out and said, like, he's enjoying his football now because this is his last year at Liverpool. There's been no talks of contracts or anything like that. So while he's here, he's going to enjoy his last year. You don't need to say that. You just don't need to say that. Like,
yeah,
so what if?
It's a pretty open secret that he's probably going to go. There's a wheelbarrow full of money out in Saudi Arabia for him to secure him and the next 7 generations of his family. You know, we spoke on here about, you know, a player from my team, Kudus, potentially being a replacement. We're all sort of aware we're not going to hold on to him long. I know it's different to Liverpool. They're, you know, more successful and top players want to play at the top level. But we're not really offended by the fact that we all think Kudus is going to go. There's a release clause next year of 85 million. He might go to Liverpool, he might go to somewhere else, but we are enjoying him while he's here. But then I guess the difference is he hasn't come out and said that. And your point is it could disrupt the dressing room. Yeah,
I mean, so what if? So you've got Kudus there. What if he's doing an interview? He's just playing a game. He's set up 2. He scored 1. Great win against Spurs, your rivals, your arch rivals. He had a great game.
We'll have that.
He takes the shine off the game by saying, "Well, it's my last game. My release clause kicks in July, and then it's just a matter of decision of where to go. It's nice that I've been able to be at West Ham and they've used my skills and I've used them as my stepping stone to the next part of my career." That's not going to go down well.
It would have been very nice, but you're adding extra context on what Salah said, aren't you? And that ain't the case. You know, he's just said he wants to enjoy his last season. You might even get the best version of Mohamed Salah. You might even get him playing like unleashed. He might break records this year for you. And you talked about it like upsetting the apple cart, but like saying, you know, you could lose the next 3 games away. But devil's avocado, going to play devil's avocado card. Like, what if he continues to be scintillating and involved in all the goals and you win the next 3? And what does it really matter if no one's offended? They must know. They're friends. They must speak in the dressing room. They must know he's playing.
Oh, yeah.
You did caveat it there. When we spoke off camera about this, you didn't mention this part of the phrase in the context. He said there's been no contract offers and there's been no talk of contracts. That makes it a little different to me.
But the conversation that's been had, especially most football teams and most football clubs with players over 30, they have the conversation at certain times. I promise you, there would have been some sort of dialect with something like that. But Arne Slot has come out and said if Salah, Van Dijk and Trent want to stay and get new contracts, they only have to say. They only have to have that conversation with the club. So that's, if he's had a conversation with the club and the club have gone, we'll talk about it in January. I completely get that part of it. I don't see Liverpool doing that. I don't see them being that crazy with it.
Yeah, I imagine they all know, the coaching staff, the manager, his team. I imagine they all know what he's going to do next year, and maybe they've all just accepted that he's here as long as he still gives 100. Look, here's a good example. Everybody knew that Rice was off. Right? Yeah, and it was a question of will it be City, will it be Arsenal? His dad had even come out and said he preferred. His dad, Sean's his agent, and they seem like a lovely family. But we all knew where his preferred destination was. We all knew he was going, mate. He didn't dip in form or intensity or effort or work rate for the rest of that season, and ended up saying goodbye, lifting the Conference League Cup. So what does it matter if his heart and his commitment is still in it? You're being a touch too sensitive there.
No, I think what he's got to realise is Salah is an established world-class footballer where players around him will look up to him. He might not affect his game, but what if he affects someone else's? And he might not even clock it.
Yeah. We don't have the context of knowing what conversations have gone in the dressing room or in team bonding sessions or pre-season. Maybe everybody's comfortable and understands what it's like. But you as a fan don't like it. Am I right saying
no? There's, I just think if you're going to do something like that, I always look at cause and reward. It's the same thing, right? This is how I look at it. As a defender, it's the same thing as me trying to drop a shoulder on a striker. It's reward versus risk, right? The reward is I get 5 yards by dropping a shoulder on a striker, and then maybe 5 yards further forward I can make a pass. But the risk...
I see you do that every week.
I'm more centre mid by them, but yeah. But the risk is if he reads it and robs me, he's through on goal. It's not worth the risk for the little reward. And that's my point. If he comes out and says this and now will Liverpool lose the next game, or what if Slot benches him? Maybe this was always the plan. Now it's different. You're making things happen you don't need to make happen. If it's an open secret that he wants to go and he's going to go and if he wants to go, that's completely fine. Salah has been, to me, he's probably been one of the best right wingers, Premier League era that Liverpool have ever had, if not the. And he'd probably up there, bar Suarez, Torres, Gerrard, Alonso, Van Dijk, and Salah. They're probably, if you're making the greatest Liverpool 11 from Premier League era, they're all probably getting in. And I just don't see the point in doing that. I guarantee he's part of the leadership group. He's an established player. I just don't see what you're going to get out of it. Because the Saudi clubs are not going to come into you in January and go, right, we want you now. We'll give you this money now, because they'll wait. Why would you do that when you can wait a year and get it for free and have a big parade about it, and it's just a matter of which club he goes to? He's still going to get massive amounts of money, and that's fine, fair play to him. He's earned it, you take it. Bear in mind that Liverpool, he's on 350 grand a week. That's not a lot to be sniffed at.
That's mega money. It's interesting. Look, let us know in the comments if you agree with Kanye or not. Would that rock the boat a little bit, or has he done his time, and as long as he's still got his head down, is he all right? Moving on slightly from Salah, just in a minute or two, are you happy with what you're seeing so far with your team, Liverpool? Happy with what you're seeing?
So far so good.
Not had many signings, just Chiesa, isn't it? Or is there one more?
Yeah, I think Chiesa is a very good signing. Very, very good signing. Because like everyone keeps talking about him having an injury record. He's not got an injury record. He's done his ACL. That's two different things from getting injured. And when they talk about him not hitting form, he played in a 3-5-2 as a wing back. Chiesa is not a wing back. He is an attacking right-sided player. Like, he will cut in and go left foot, right foot. I think that will be I'm hoping it'll be a really good signing. Our front six now looks really good. We just need a bit more depth in midfield. And I do like the idea of what he's doing with Conor Bradley by bringing him on for Trent a lot. But I just think if he's doing it to keep Trent fresh because of the playing at the Euros and stuff, I get that. But constantly bringing off the same player, to me, as a player, if you're always bringing me off, it sends a message.
Yeah. You're
looking to see how the team works without me. I would be mindful of that.
So the signs are all right for you, though, in terms of Liverpool. Let's move on now. We spoke about him a little bit earlier about Rice. Did you see the sending off? Arsenal-Brighton. Arsenal held to a 1-1 draw with Brighton. Controversial sending off. What's your take on it?
I don't think it's controversial. The first one's a definite yellow.
Right, so for people that haven't seen it.
So basically what happens is, Rice is chasing down Veltman in the right-hand side of the area in Brighton's half. He fouls Veltman. Veltman rolls the ball forward and goes to take a quick free kick. As he goes to take the quick free kick, Rice just sticks his foot out and taps the ball slightly to the right, 8 inches. As Veltman's gone to kick it, he's missed the ball.
Don't exaggerate on that. 6 inches, 8 inches.
All right, 2 inches. And as he's gone to swing...
It was cold, though, wasn't it?
What, in Coventry? Freezing. But as he's gone to kick it, he swings through, follows through on Rice. Rice goes down. But the letter of the law is, the rules say that Declan Rice was disrupting the start of play. All the players have been warned, disrupting the start of play will result in a mandatory yellow card. You put yourself in that position to allow the referee to go, right, there's your second yellow because you've already had one. What do you want me to do? It's a red card. The argument they've got is that people are saying is, but the ball was still moving. Doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter because you've purposely gone out of your way to stop the restart of the game. So he's done that unnecessarily. Arsenal were cruising. Didn't need to do it. So to me, it's a red. To be fair, they were lucky not to lose it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to play devil's avocado just for entertainment purposes.
Bring him on.
We do see a lot, don't we, when a team give away a free kick. A player not necessarily kicking the ball away, that's where I think he's wrong, but standing in front of the ball to stop them taking it quickly.
Yeah.
Do you think that where he went wrong was actually like a full revolution of the ball, like moving the ball into motion rather than standing over the ball to stop them taking it?
I think if he would have just stood there, because I think Veltman actually goes to kick the ball at him. I think that's Veltman's plan from the start, to kick the ball at him to try and say, listen, he's had a yellow, what are you doing? Yeah, but how they do it out here when we play here is you can play if, like, so say that's what happened here in the Spanish league that we play, the local league. If the defender takes a quick free kick and the player is not 10 yards, but you've decided to play and he blocks it, it's play on. You've chosen to play before you set time. Yes. Yeah. If the referee will say, do you want distance or distante? as they say.
Fluent. That is that 8,064 days on Duolingo, isn't it?
Listen, donde está el baño? That's all I'll say. See. So making me laugh. So when he does that, if the player doesn't move, the referee will say, "Do you want your distance?" And if he says distance, right, you have to wait for the whistle to play. Yeah, that is to me is so much clearer. If you want to risk playing early, very handy today. If you want to risk playing early, you risk that. If it's on, it's on. But just kicking the ball at the player, no, give the boy a chance. He wasn't even looking at the direction. He just sort of flicked his foot out of it when he heard him coming. So I think that, to me, is something that the English league could definitely learn on. If you want to play quick, play quick. If not, wait for the whistle.
When I played in England, it was always wait for the whistle, but you could say to the ref, quick one. Can I play quick? Yeah. If you let the ref know, you've got to communicate, if you want to play quick. Is that points drops, you think, for Arsenal? I know it's early days, but do you think that's points drops, and do you think that's Rice's fault that they dropped the points?
From a winning position, 1-0 up at home, against a team that like to play football and will be open to allow you to be open, definitely points drop.
Yeah,
but
we see there's a long way to go.
I think the thing is, the only team that could probably go without dropping points is Man City. They're the only team you could actually see just week after week churning out win after win after win. And I think there's only, bar a mad upset, I think you've only got maybe 2 teams on their day, maybe 3 that could take points off City. Yeah,
it's a crazy old thing. Spurs lost to Newcastle. That was really sad, wasn't it? Fuck them. What, did you see much of that game on Sunday?
Didn't see much of it. Seen the highlights. Read a couple of reviews on it. Apparently, Ajax was good. Didn't really see much of it. I seen the last goal. Great play. I think it was Willock bombing through, and it was clever play. He could have took the shot on and tried it, but played the numbers. A little cheeky square to Isaacs, and he just taps it in for the winner. Like, I just get it. The thing is, I don't get with Spurs is at the minute they're so hit and miss. Like, sometimes you'll watch them and they'll be so good, and then you'll see them. Yeah, and you see them and you think, this is where you need to turn up. And what are you doing? Players can miss him.
What do you think of Ange? They all go on about him, being attacking and playing a certain way, but surely at this level, you can't. I'll tell you what's a good analogy, right? You can't just be gung-ho all the time. You surely have got to have a bit more facets to your game in the Premier League. As exciting as it is to just play that brand of football, I'll tell you what, sometimes we have analogies to do with boxing or to do with UFC. So I watched a podcast this morning. Shout out to Michael Bisping on the Believe You Me podcast, and he had UFC fighter Khalil Roundtree on there. And of course, he's just been announced in the last few days he'll be fighting Pereira for the title.
Wow.
Have you seen that or not? Did you see that?
No, not seen it. No, I didn't see it.
So they had him on there, and Michael Bisping said to him, he said, you've never attempted to shoot for a takedown once in your UFC career. He said, if I'm your coach, I want to say, let's have them tools to your bag. Like, it doesn't have to be your main thing. Let's make sure your ground game's competent, your wrestling's competent, your jiu-jitsu is competent. He says, it would, and Pereira is not known for shooting takedowns either. He said, you might be able to come in there from, left field and get a takedown on him and win the round or can be better on the ground than him. But surely just having the threat of that in your arsenal is worth doing. He said, if I was your coach, I would say to you, we won't spend too much time on that, but I want you to be mixing it up, level changes. Yeah. So what would you say to me as a coach? And what do you reckon Roundtree said?
A clever man would say that's something we're already working on, or I'm already competent in that. I just not had to use it yet.
Totally.
Or depending on, I've never actually seen the Roundtree interview. If he's maybe one of those arrogant fighters, he might say, "I don't need it."
Right. So what he did say was, Bisping framed it with, "What would you say to me if I was your coach?" And I said, "Let's just get that in the bag so that sometimes you can have fights go a certain way, and that you might get it in there if you see the opportunity. When if you were my coach, I'd probably sack you, and we'd have a chat about that, and we'd have to have a serious talk because that's not what got me to the dance, and that's not what I've done for my career here. And for 11 years I've been fighting. That's not my game. And Bisping was like, but surely it's good to have it in your arsenal. And he was like, no, I want you to concentrate on my strengths, and I don't want to do that. So without going too much on the UFC tangent, I found Bisping said that he respected the answer, and he respected that he had the spirit of his convictions, that he wanted to stick with what he knew was his speciality. The fact that there was zero threat from anywhere else, if I'm coaching against that, that's you're giving me less things to scratch my head about.
Yeah.
Taking that analogy, do we rave about Ange Postecoglou, or is he only one way of playing? Do you not think they would be stronger? And I don't give a bollocks if they are or not. Just let them lose. But no saltiness, just saying. But your face. But should he have other ways to play just than Ange ball? Have we got a point?
Absolutely. Why would you not? Like, if you were talking about the UFC analogy, like say Roundtree, for example, if that's you've basically just said to everyone, this is my weakness.
Yeah.
Or is that a double bluff?
Well,
like in that sort of individual, But
I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if he comes out, shoots a blast like double leg? Do you know what I mean?
Gives it the old Demetrius, picks him up, drops an armbar, boom, boom.
That's it. You was a bit smaller back then, though, weren't you?
I was. So I was a lot lighter. The boobs were an A cup. But to me, I look at that with Ange. It's like you're doing training and going, listen, we score a lot of goals on the floor, whatever. We don't need to work on set pieces. That's just crazy. Crazy way of thinking. And this has always been like my issue with Liverpool under Klopp. As much as I love watching it, I always thought we missed another way of playing. I thought that was always our issue. If the way we play doesn't work, it's okay, we'll try again. It's okay, we'll try again. It's okay, we'll try again. And sometimes it doesn't work.
That's plan A again.
Yeah,
with different personnel. That was the frustrating thing with Moyes. It was like, okay, Antonio's isolated up front on his own. Let's take him off and put Ings on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's just not working. Yeah,
changes. The shape doesn't change. The patterns of play don't change. It's a strange thing. Look, they'll have to work that out, and I don't mind them losing 6-0 every week until they do that. Did you see Everton versus Bournemouth?
What is that about?
Wow.
That is like 87 minutes. So 86th minute, you are 2-0 up.
Yeah.
Right, I can understand you might concede a goal, but then play clever, keep the ball, work the channels. What are you doing?
Crazy.
Like if you've got players like I think it was Gay or the new midfielder they've got in the midfield. Like even the comments were saying, Nana's got to Villa. He's got two and three for Villa. Yeah.
Scored against us. Scored against us, didn't he?
And against Leicester. So with that, I just think, how is your game management? Where are your leaders in your squad? Maybe Dyche didn't see it, or maybe it was just the way he was. But the commentators were saying after they scored the first, they had another chance to score, and the commentator was saying about the midfielder, he's out on his feet. Like, why is he still on? Like, just bringing the energy, the legs back in. So you must have in a squad of Premiership players that are clever enough, niche enough to work the corner. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's 28. He's experienced now. Work the corner, get the ball, hold it in there. You've got Beto, who's a big 6'3", 6'4" striker. Get him on. He'll run the channels. He's a danger from set pieces. He's a nuisance for their set pieces. And if he gets the ball in the corner, he'll run down 35, 60 seconds.
Hold the ball the other end of the pitch where there's no danger to you and burn the clock.
Yes, exactly. And that's as much as I hate that sort of tactic. I hate it. But it needs to be done. Yeah. And even the winning goal, what is Pickford doing coming out for it? Sinisterra is not a big player. And he's got to the ball before you. You stand your line. Sinisterra, a 5'7" winger, if he's going to nod in from that angle to beat you from basically the penalty spot, but further to the right, fair play to him. But if you're going to come out, you've got to take it. You've got to take that ball. Madness. Absolute madness.
Man, they threw that away. But that's the beauty of the Premier League. So just to flash through a few more, Chelsea 1, Palace 1. We also had, and What else have we not touched on?
Leicester Villa.
Leicester Villa. That was 2-1 Villa. And Brentford Southampton 3-1. Ipswich Fulham 1-1. Forest Wolves 1-1. And then, of course, my team. What did you make of that? Did you see? Oh, excuse me. So sorry. See the dedication, like recording this for our listeners. Did you see any of West Ham United versus Manchester City? And what did
Seeing the highlights of it, City are just flying in there. Like Haaland's had what, 6 shots?
He's
scored 3.
He's
a machine.
Yeah,
like it's just a mountain of a man. He's a threat from every angle. Like, and he for someone his size, he's so fast, so fast. Like, and when you've got players that can unlock defenses and do the passes, like the analysis was basically saying they were trying to play high, but you're playing high against. When we watched the friendly, I said to you, like, that's quite a high line for what you'd expect from West Ham. Like, but it's certain teams you can't do that. You can't do that.
I'm surprised that was the analysis, because that wasn't how I saw it at all. We were off to a flyer, silly as it sounds, for the first 4 minutes. So for me, it was interesting, right? Because these are the fixtures. Like, I think most people see Man City as a free hit, because most people expect, maybe not the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal and whatnot, but most of us, like, mortals, we expect to lose against City, And for me, this is the sort of fixture where Moyes would be waving the white flag straight away, would go 2-0 down, and then desperately going 5 at the back and put on defenders to defend the 2-0 loss, believe it or not, and then would be in the press conference waxing lyrical about how good they are. So it was rather refreshing for me that Lopetegui, I wouldn't say gave him no respect, because he certainly did, but Lopetegui was like, let's have a go at this. Let's have a go at this. So he didn't wave the white flag. First 4 minutes, we really went for it, and we pressed, and we had a lot of the ball. And actually, if a younger Antonio would have got in front of Diaz and might have scored after about 2 minutes, about a minute and a half. I felt in the first half we were so deep, and we were so deep because we were worried about them getting in behind, Haaland getting in behind our 2 centre-backs. So what he did was, he bought Aaron Wan-Bissaka and had him tucked in, almost like an extra, like an auxiliary centre-back on the right. They were like 4 centre-backs with Emerson, Kilman, Mavropanos, and AWB. But a team like City, all that does is gives them so much space on the flanks. So they were doing like what you said in another video about England. They were rotating and switching. And what you found was De Bruyne came out on the left. He had a shot straight away from the left. They had so much space. He just absolutely had space to burn, and they were all over us. And we are pinned back in our own half. The frustrating thing for me is, as good as they are and as dangerous as they are, if you've got everybody behind the ball, you've got no out ball. So we might win it back, or we might clear it. I mean, even if you've got like someone like Antonio up front on his own that will battle for everything, and a lot of the time stands a good chance of being strong enough to hold the ball until support comes, or he's even nodded on and then ran and got it on the end of his own flick on before now. Do you know what I mean? He's strong like that. But we were so deep that we had absolutely no out ball. So it was just clear the ball right back to them on the halfway line, and they come again, wave after wave of pressure. A half-time tactical change. This is another thing I was really pleased about, because we spoke in other episodes. Moyes would see, for example, and the episode, I forget what it was, but the example we spoke about was Doku just absolutely rinsing Soufal on toast for the full 90 minutes. And we could all see it, and he can see it, and nobody plugs the gap. They don't stop the bleeding. Lopetegui could see at half-time. He was obviously trying to stop them getting behind or playing through the centre-backs. They were going out wide. So what he did is he switched to a back 3. So he had, not technically a back 3. He had Alvarez dropping back, splitting the centre-backs. So they were a strong 3 in the middle, but you still had not really wing-backs. They were full-backs, to be honest with you. It was almost like a back 5, but it stopped the space out wide, and it stopped them playing through the middle. And then we had Kudus and Bowen on the halfway line, like your old team on the counter, and we broke away and scored. It was an own goal, but we broke away and scored. Bowen flashed the ball across. Diaz turned it into his own net. Then we had a couple of chances. Then later on, same routine. It broke quickly. Kudus was away and hit the bar. So, there was much more threat.
Yeah. I remember watching that.
And then later on, like the last 10 minutes or whatever, look, I would rather see our manager throw some players on and go shit or bust to try and get it 2-2 than sit back and extend a lot. I would rather lose 3-1 fighting than contain a 2-1 loss on our knees.
Yeah.
But the problem is he switched to back to a back four, took Alvarez off, who had been pivotal in keeping them out and breaking up attacks, and he put Souček on just to go and be like a target man. And he came on and was a bit of a nuisance. And then, of course, they broke away through that middle, played through the exact centre-backs he was trying to protect, and they nicked it 3-1. But you know what? I was happy. It was a valiant effort. He was proactive in the changes. He played a different lineup to the last couple of games. When he sees a problem, he goes for it. And he's not just going to play the badge now. He's going to have a go at playing the game. So we lost 3-1. But I felt like, you know, there were good signs there for me. But yeah, I wouldn't have said we were playing a high line. I'd have said we were camped on our own 6-yard box and 18-yard box. It
started from what I see, it looked like it started like a high line, and then Haaland got in once, and that was it. He just got further back and back. But
I think that's a confidence thing.
Yeah, it's new. Like from what my friend said, who is a West Ham fan, he watched it. He said Wan-Bissaka was your best player. He said he was really, really good.
Absolutely. But, he was brilliant.
But when we spoke about Wan-Bissaka and we said about Lopetegui, we said he wanted to play attacking fullbacks and stuff. Someone like Wan-Bissaka, I think he gets a raw deal. Everyone just thinks, he's always slide tackling. No, the thing is, when you're playing at United, they want you to do so much in regards to a fullback position. You need to be in this position. You need to get there. You need to go here. You need to play this sort of pass. You need to be West Ham, and no disrespect to West Ham, defend, support the right midfielder. The right midfielder is there to do his job. You support him doing his job. That's it. And that just me makes more sense.
Yeah, he's a steal at 15 million. And he was doing, and Lopetegui in this game, even against City, was doing what we'd spoke about before, with Alvarez coming back and splitting the two centre-backs as an auxiliary sort of centre-back. He was able to play CDM and centre-back, depending on in or out of position, which allowed Emerson and Wan-Bissaka to really get up the pitch. Wan-Bissaka doesn't really cross, but he's made a couple of goals already just with his runs. He progresses and gets the ball up the field. Yeah. So I'm really, really liking that. Yeah, to be honest, there was good signs there. I don't know if you saw though, Cresswell was injured pretty early on, might even have been in the warm-up, and he ended up, and Emerson wasn't having a great game. He took Emerson off, put Kufau on, he switched Wan-Bissaka back to left. He played really well. But I still don't, as we've spoken about many a time, I still don't like the wrong-footed player at fullback because it then stifled Kudus and it stifled Somerville. Somerville came on late. He's built like a 12-year-old boy, by the way. He's got pushed off the ball easy. But he had like a last-minute curling shot that Edison just tipped onto the post. So we hit the woodwork twice. We had a go. We didn't wave the white flag. All in all, the signs are pretty good. So generally, 30-odd minutes. We've sort of done a brief little overview of most of the games. We can't go into real depth with every single game, but just the interesting ones this weekend. I'm going to finish off. I'm going to give you, because it's my turn, I'm going to give you, if you can get the graphic ready for a Who Am I? Right? So if you can give me, Who am I? Who am I? So I'm going to give you a quick Who Am I? It's a bit of a different one. See if you can work this out before your battery goes. And that's another good one if you can. So who am I? Who am I? I scored my first career hat-trick in a tumultuous game. And I was that first, and I think only, I should check this. Let's go with first person to ever score a hat-trick in the same game against 3 different goalkeepers. Who am I?
So wait, so he scored a hat-trick?
Yeah, in a game.
So basically he scored a goal against 3 different goalkeepers?
In the same game.
Premier League or?
Top flight, but not necessarily in the Premier League era.
So we're going to Div 1 era then?
Yeah.
So English League.
I'll tell you what, we'll do the same with you. You could have 3 questions, 5 questions, 3 guesses. 5 questions,
right, okay.
3 guesses. Yes.
Right, okay. Did he play for one of the established top 6s?
No.
Wait, if I don't know him, remember you're a bit more mature than me.
You'll know him.
Right. They never play. So he's never played for any of the established top sixes. Did he play in the Premiership era?
Hang on. Did he play for one of the established top six, or was this?
Did he play for one of the established top sixes? So that'll be Arsenal, United. Go on.
Right. I'll give you a clue. No, it's too big a clue. But I'm not sure. I'd have to research who he played for. Let me do that real quick while you think. Right?
Right. Okay. So he did it when he played in Division 1. Has he played in the Premiership?
No, I would imagine he would have been retired by them.
Right. So
that's
retired.
2 questions to go.
How was that 3? That's only 2.
Right, okay. Go on then.
Cheating, man. Right, so I'm going to go with... So he didn't do when he played for them. None of the top sixes. Never played in the Prem. Scored against 3 different goalkeepers, so that's...
So what will be the circumstances, do you think? That might help you. What will be the circumstances?
So it will be injuries, red cards. So a goalkeeper will come on. Injury, then someone would then get injured and come on again, and then a player would go and goal.
Correct.
If it's not Premier League era, I'm not going to know.
Right, okay. Right. Weren't that far away from it. Let's have a look when it was. Oh, no, it was that far away. Well, 6 years before that. We've spoken about players from this era.
6 years before that, so that puts me at 1 year old.
Yeah, but but we speak about.
Right. Okay. So, but he's never played in the Premiership. That means he would have been coming to the end of his career before the Premiership era.
Or he may have gone down the leagues. Right, this is a tough one because it's before you're watching football. So he comes from the city of the club you support. So he's
I know it'd be a Scouser. The only one I can think of is if we've spoken to him. No, because it can't even be him.
So you got a couple of questions left. You can ask me what club. You can ask me what position.
I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to know that.
No,
I'm not going to know that player. No,
I think you might.
Not for that. Not for that reason. No chance.
Right. Okay. Right. So shall I throw a couple of clues at you to help you?
The only one I could say work would be, in my opinion, but I'm sure he played in the Premiership era, is John Aldridge.
Right. No. So he wasn't a centre forward. It was a centre back in an 8-1 win against Newcastle, and it was for West Ham. So think about a Scouse centre back who played for West Ham in the mid to late 80s, who holds that record.
For my time. Not going to know.
Right, well, okay, but I was a bit unfair with the question. I thought you'd be all right, and I had to make it a bit tougher than the Anelka. It was Alvin Martin. You obviously heard of Alvin Martin, right? You're joking. You haven't
heard of him.
Alvin Martin.
Never heard of him.
Play for England as well. Okay, no. Right,
okay, no, right, so did Dave Nugent.
yeah, but I've heard of him. It is a bit unfair because you're what,
39,
and I'm 83. So yeah,
and a half.
And a half. Maybe that's a bit of that. Right, so if you've got enough battery, so just quickly, Martin achieved the rare feat scoring a hat trick against 3 different Newcastle goalkeepers. Martin Thomas was injured. So someone was sent. Who was it? Centre. Martin Thomas was injured. Outfield player Chris Hedworth, and then Peter Beardsley went in goal for the penalty.
Big onion head, Peter Beardsley.
That's it, yeah. Right, that's a bit of an anticlimax. Let's finish with obscure player game, shall we?
Right, you picking a club?
No, you do it, because I just did a difficult.
You put a club in the chat for us to see, and we'll go for that.
Right, okay, let's have a little think.
Or do you want to risk it? I'll pick a player and you can go, right, I know.
I don't mind. Yeah, go on. Right. You might pick a player. I might switch up the club.
Right, okay, then let's go with Glenn Helder.
Was he the Dutch fella?
Yep, Dutch left winger. Played for 2 teams.
Right, let's have a think about it. So did he play for your team?
Nope.
Who did he play for? Right. Do you know what I was thinking about the other
Played
night?
for the other side.
Right, so Everton, yeah. So then, I don't know if my ear is right here. Graham Sharp.
Graham Sharp's a player. We've got...
Is that the same sort of era or was Helder afterwards? Did he play for
Arsenal? Yeah, he played for Arsenal, yeah. I will go with Anders Limpar.
So you've been tricky there, haven't you? You've been tricky there.
No?
Limpar played for both, didn't he?
Yeah, but you named an Everton player, so you know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You've been tricky there. So I don't know if we stay with Everton. Okay, so we got the choice. All right.
You go with whoever you want to go with, and I'll work from you.
Right, Perry Groves.
I would go with Mickey Thomas. Oh, I should have gone Freddie Jeffers.
Yeah, that's Steve Morrow. We spoke about him recently. Broke his arm.
Jon Jensen. He was weird. He just had like a curly mullet and a big mustache.
John Lukage.
Oh, good goalkeeper. Apparently, so I've heard.
I met him on a train once.
Did you?
Yeah. You sure you remember John Lukage?
Yeah, I remember John Lukage. I remember him playing for Leeds.
Yeah, he did.
The man himself, recently passed, Kevin Campbell.
I sent you, I know you're not very often on Instagram, I sent you and Tommy a brilliant clip from Under the Kosh podcast of Kevin Campbell telling a really funny story about Brian Clough. So you'd have to have a look at that when you
I'll have to get the drug phone out.
That's what you'll have to do. You'll have to have a look at that. So should we do one more each?
Go on then, one more each.
Right, one more each. So you went for Kevin Campbell. I will give you. Let's have a little think about it here. And this Limpar was a good shout. I'll give you an obvious one. Steve Bold.
Right. I'm going to raise you, Steve Bold, and just piss you off with this. Pascal Sagan. Awful.
I don't even remember him.
Exactly. Pascal Sagan was trash.
I was tempted to give you Sylvain Wiltord.
Oh, it's a bit harsh on Sylvain.
Do you reckon?
Yes. I think that's harsh on Sylvain. See, I had a couple in the chamber. There was Pascal Sagan. There was Philip Senderos. Remember him? He was pants as well.
Yeah.
Alex Manninger.
I remember him. Goalkeeper.
He was good. He was good. He was.
Yeah, he was all right. I'll tell you, I was thinking, not an Arsenal player, but sometimes now, since we do this obscure player thing, I wake up in the night and go like Reggie Blinker. Or, you know what I mean? He's like obscure Pierre Van Hooijdonk.
Player. What a player.
I know.
Hell of a player.
Yeah, proper player. Right, listen, that's been another good one. Thank you for joining us. Remember, let us know in the comments below. If I was a bit unfair there on the old 1986-87 shot for what would have been 1-year-old Kanye. Bit out of line, that, wasn't it? Really.
To be fair, I'm disappointed. I should have knew that. Like at that age, I'm taking information. If I'm trying to learn to talk and walk, I should know that.
Well, this is it. If you're supposed to be a sponge, these are the formative years. I expect you to know this football trivia. Listen, let us know. Let us know your talking points. Let us know if we're right or wrong. Like and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for joining us on another episode of
Opinions from Offside.
We'll see you again soon, folks. Keep balling.